Hey guys, we're going to be talking about subsection 5 of the Florida PIP statute, and we're going to be talking about charges for treatment from medical providers, how much they can get paid. There is a ton of court cases on this part in the statute, more than any section in the entire statute, how much doctors are supposed to get paid. So we're going to talk very vaguely, because if I tell you something in this video, it's going to be wrong tomorrow, and then the next day it'll be wrong again, and then the next day another judge will come out and it'll be wrong. So I'll just talk very briefly in plain terms for you what it is that doctors are supposed to get paid. So the statute says, a physician, hospital, clinic, or other person or institution lawfully rendering treatment to an insured, to an injured person for a bodily injury covered by PIP may charge the insurance company and the injured party only a reasonable amount pursuant to this section for services and supplies rendered. Okay? However, such a charge may not exceed the amount the person or institution customarily charges. So you can charge a reasonable amount. You can't charge more than you normally charge other insurance companies, okay? Stuff like that. So this says the insurance company may limit reimbursement to 80% of the following schedule. There's a lot of debate about what this part means, so I'm just going to read to you briefly. For emergency transportation and for treatment by providers licensed under Chapter 401, 200% of Medicare, okay? For emergency services and care provided by a hospital, 75% of that hospital's usual and customary charge. So let's say a hospital normally charges $20,000, and that's normal for them. It's 75% of the that hospital's usual and customary charge, okay? Now, for emergency services and care by facility licensed, hospital, chapter 395, rendered by a physician or a dentist. So one was for the hospital. This one is for services rendered by the physician or dentist at a hospital. The usual and customary charges in the community. And then I'm just going to skip down to the very bottom here. For all other medical services, this is where most doctors are: chiropractors, outpatient MRIs, freestanding MRI centers, orthopedic doctors that are unrelated to the hospital treatment. Says for all other medical services, supplies, and care, 200% of the allowable amount under, and then it goes on, blah, 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 blah. There's a ton of verbiage here. Medicare, if Medicare doesn't pay for it, work comp, okay? And like I said, there's a ton of court cases on there. That's why I'm not being too specific, because the statute says one thing, and then the court cases interpret the statute very differently, if you want. So it's just kind of not going to make a lot of sense if I read you something on the video and then you're getting a court case tomorrow. So I'm going to go on here. It says that here, an insurer that applies the allowable payment amount limitation must reimburse a provider who lawfully provided care or treatment under the scope of his or her license, regardless of whether such provider is entitled to reimbursement under Medicare. So chiropractors, you can only, as of the time of this video, you can only get paid from Medicare for an adjustment. They don't pay you for x-rays, they don't pay you for exams, they don't pay you for therapies, right? This rule specifically says that it's regardless of his or her license. So they're really talking about chiropractors, because they're the only ones that I know that Medicare has this huge issue with. It says here, regardless of whether such provider is entitled to reimbursement under Medicare, due to restrictions or limitations on the types or discipline of healthcare providers who may be reimbursed for particular procedures or procedure codes. Okay, specifically talking about chiropractors. To the best of my knowledge, I don't know any other medical provider that has limitations with Medicare to that extent. Now, it says here, however, this does not prohibit an insurance company from using Medicare coding policies and payment methodologies of the Center for Medicare, which is NCCI edits, MPPR reductions. There's a bunch of court cases. Some say you could do it, some say you can't do it. Don't want to get into that in the video here. I just want to let you know that chiropractors, even though they can only get paid from Medicare for an adjustment under PIP, they're allowed to get reimbursed for everything under the sun, therapies, adjustments, x-rays, exams, okay? So there's that. And then Now, this is another important part of the subsection A. It says, if an insurer limits payments as authorized in this subparagraph, the person providing such services, supplies, or care may not bill or attempt to collect from the insured any amount in excess of those limits, except for amounts that are not covered under PIP due to co-insurance or if benefits are exhausted. So a lot of times people say, Abe, you know, do I have to accept the fee schedule reductions? This says yes, that you have to accept the fee schedule reductions. Now, does that mean the fee schedule reductions are correct? No. You need a PIP attorney to tell you if they're correct or not correct. And the PIP attorney is going to say, well, let me send a demand letter, let me see what they say, and then go from there. So PIP statute's not really perfect because even though there's a Medicare fee schedule, a work comp fee schedule, every insurance company, not every, most interpret it differently. And so they pay different amounts for the same service. Even they started the fee schedule in PIP in 2008, January 1st, 2008. For those of you who weren't in the game that long, before 2008, the insurance company Progressive would routinely reduce all their bills down to 200% of Medicare. And every single one of those was a lawsuit, and they settled all those claims. But magically, when they settled all those claims, they went to the legislature and said, hey, we want this fee schedule thing in here. We think it makes sense. And thanks, Progressive, for everything you do. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching.